Welcome to Team Three's presentation on the monetary supply and its correlation to economic indicators. Team members are Kyle Bergen, Annette Erickson, Amy Farmer, and as your narrator, I am Benjamin Wallace. So what does the term monetary supply mean? Monetary supply refers to the quantity of money available in the economy, and it includes all the bills, coins, loans, credit, and other liquid instruments. The monetary supply is divided into categories. M0 is the most liquid measure and refers to the cash or very liquid assets held by banks or circulating within the economy. M1 is a narrow measure of money's function as a medium of exchange, including bills, coins, and checking accounts, and is used by economists while quantifying the money supply in circulation. M2 is a broader measure that also reflects money's function as a store of value, and M3, a still broader measure that covers items that many regard as close substitutes for money. In the U.S., the Federal Reserve is the regulatory authority for money supply. The money supply is closely correlated with economic indicators such as inflation, interest rates, and currency value. In addition, the Fed will use money supply as a tool to stabilize the economy. As most of you already know, in an effort to stabilize the economy, the Fed has been printing a relatively large amount of money during the last couple of years. To get a perspective on exactly how much they have printed, let's look at these two graphs using the M1 category. Graph 1 is short-term and covers the last 5 years. The black line indicates the year-to-year change. We can see that during 2009, the Fed printed roughly 17 to 18% more money than the year before. The shaded area shows the total money supply, which has increased by roughly $600 billion since 2008, which is approximately a 40% increase in total supply. Graph 2 is long-term, and the year-to-year changes show some historical spikes. What is more interesting is the shaded area, which shows the total money supply. We can see that the total money supply has almost doubled since 2001. In this graph, 2001 shows a total money supply of just over $1,000 billion, and 2011 shows a total of nearly $2,000 billion. From these charts, we see that the United States is not the only major economy increasing their monetary supply. China has been increasing its money supply in order to devalue its own currency to keep the cost of its goods cheap for other countries to import. From Japan's chart, we can see a prime example of what the money supply looks when a country has been fighting deflation for the past decade. An increase in the money supply will usually cause inflation, causing interest rates to go down and encourage investing. Europe and the United Kingdom have also kept in step with the rest of the major economies in the world, increasing their money supplies over the past couple decades. Inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices of goods and services is rising, and subsequently purchasing power is falling. Central banks attempt to stop severe inflation, along with severe deflation, in an attempt to keep the excessive growth of prices to a minimum. The money supply and inflation is positively correlated, which means that an increase in supply will normally lead to an increase in inflation. This can be seen by the graph. However, there are other factors that can affect inflation, both by increasing or decreasing its rate. The dollar value, on the other hand, is normally negatively correlated to supply, meaning that an increase in supply will decrease the dollar value. The Fed has and wants to inject money into the economy to stimulate banks to give better rates, but the end result may be that the dollar value will decrease over time. The decrease in dollar value affects not only the U.S., but other countries as well. Monthly data reporting on money supply didn't start until 1940. In 1978, the Feds were required by the Full Employment and Balanced Growth Act to set one-year target growth and report them to Congress. In the early 1990s, the relationship between the growth of M2 and the performance of the economy weakened. This caused people to pull their money out of savings and invest in bonds which are not measured. In 2000, the Feds announced they would not set yearly targets anymore because money supply growth does not provide a good benchmark for the conduct of monetary policy. In 2006, the Fed stopped use of the M3, stating it did not show any information more than M2 did. I would like to thank you for listening to Team 3's presentation on the monetary supply. We'd like to conclude by stating that the United States does not need to further increase its monetary supply. The issue here is not cheap borrowing, but the fact that the companies do not trust the government and where it's headed as far as its business policies.